It's very easy in those situations to go, this is hell. This is a nightmare. This is driving me insane. This is making me crazy. This is the worst thing ever in the whole world. And of course, when you have a brilliant brain, which every person has, you have two choices: talk yourself into it or talk yourself out of it. And to talk yourself out of it, you just go, this is just a thought. I'm thinking this is hell, but it's not really hell. I'm at an airport. I got a challenge. It's probably fixable. And if it isn't fixable, it's not the worst thing ever. I mean, it would have been disappointing. But you've always got to be listening to your thoughts, because it's like a ladder. You think a thought, your thoughts dictate your feelings dictate your actions, and you justify them with the thoughts. You might go, I have social anxiety. That's a thought. And now I feel really uncomfortable and anxious, and I avoid people because I have social anxiety. What if I say, actually, I'm just a bit antisocial, but I'm running that. I'm antisocial, and I quite like it because I turn down invitations, and I like being at home with my pets, watching TV. I'm chosen to be antisocial. If Taylor Swift said, hey, do you want to come to dinner? I might say, well, I think I'll go, actually. If Madonna said, hey, do you want to come to my house? I might go, you know what? I think I won't be antisocial tonight. If someone said, hey, we've got this amazing thing, and I don't know, Idris Elba's going to be there, I think tonight I won't be antisocial. So it's always good to just reframe it. Because when you give yourself a label, you limit yourself. If you say I'm like perfect, then that makes you feel under a lot of pressure. If you say it doesn't matter, but it is words, words create magic. That's why it's called spelling. So we have to always go back to words. What words am I using? Because your brain always works out how you feel by the words. If you go, oh my God, I'm stressed out of my brain, I'm dying under this pressure, and this job is killing me. You've told your mind something with words, that this place called work is killing you. And your mind, whose job it is to keep you alive, is going to go, if that place called work is killing you, why don't I give you a lovely answer? Then you can't go to that place called work, and now it can't kill you. And if we say things like, I'd rather die than get ghosted, oh my God, it would kill me to have to speak to those people. I'm terrified at having to give that presentation at work. Your mind is picking up that these things are a threat, because your mind's job is to keep you alive, and it has to use your language to work out what's going on. If you change that to, well, this is a bit of a challenge, and it's certainly a situation, and I need to really be on it, but it's okay. I mean, the presentation doesn't have to be perfect. It can just be good. You're telling your mind it's not a threat. So once you tell yourself something is a threat, then your mind is going to work to make sure you never go back there again. And the most obvious way of that is, we've all done this and said, God, I'd love a week off. What I would give for a week off. And then we get a really bad cold and we have a week off. And we thought, I didn't want that. Or we think, oh my God, I don't want to go to that meeting, that presentation. We wake up with chronic diarrhea and we think, oh, no, I can't go. So the mind is always listening. And its job is to make your thoughts real. And if you doubt that, think of this. If ever you think of something sad, don't your eyes fill up with tears? If you're feeling embarrassed, don't you start to blush? As a man, if you think of sex, don't you get a very physical reaction, even if you're just sitting at home on your own? And if you think about food, doesn't your stomach rumble? So when you're thinking a thought, just a random thought, it's not a thought, it's a blueprint that your mind, body, and psyche are working to make real. That's its job. And your job is to think better thoughts so it can make them real.
I have a question around why you think our subconscious mind can actually push us to act in ways that our conscious mind would never approve of.
Okay, so let's imagine in every relationship you've got dumped, and you expect to be dumped. And now you met someone and you quite like them, but you find yourself acting out, being really mean, being difficult, acting in a way that's going to make them dump you. So that's a very classic example. I want love. There's nothing I want more than love. But every time I meet someone, I find myself being really weird. I'm critical. I don't turn up. I'm needy. I keep saying to them, you're going to dump me, aren't you? And now they dump me. So that's a very classic example. So we want something consciously, but the subconscious says, no, you do not want that at all. That, don't you remember what you said 20 years ago? I'll die if you leave me. I can't live without you. I'd rather be on my own forever than go through that pain. You know, there's that song by Carly Simon, I haven't got time for the pain. And all these songs tell us that. Oh my God, I can't live without you. I'll die. I can't breathe without you. So once you pick up a belief, you're going to act according to that belief. And there are other people, for instance, even with wealth, you know, 70% of lottery winners are utterly bankrupt in 3 years. So here's another thing. I want wealth. I've got this money. Consciously, so I'm going to get rid of the whole lot because I don't believe I'm worth it. I don't believe I earned it. And I've got this message in my head. People with money are bad. People with money have sold their soul to the devil. And I say words like fat cat, rich bitch, filthy rich. So if I believe that money is bad, when I get it, I better get rid of all of it. So the subconscious has the belief money is bad and people who pursue money are bad. And the conscious has a different belief. I want lots of money, but the subconscious is always going to run the show. It's the feeling mind. So people reject love. People reject wealth. People reject success. People say that can't be true, but there are babies with attachment disorder. You know, you can't pick them up. You know, if I got a feral cat and I actually did that when I was in Istanbul. I picked up a little cat in the street and it scratched. I didn't like it at all. And I'm so used to picking up cats, and my cats are very affectionate. But if you've never had love, you will actually reject it because it's unfamiliar. Because here's how the brain works. It's very simple, but very vexing. The brain will always go back to what is familiar, what is known, and what is comfortable. And it will go away from what is unfamiliar, unknown, and uncomfortable. So if you've never had love, and, you know, I've worked with children in care, and they don't want love. They want a computer and some money and a taxi, but they think love is weak. You know, I worked with someone who'd had the most horrific childhood. And when he met someone who said, I love you, he said, never say that to me ever again. I never want to hear that word. You must never tell me that. And what he was really saying was, I cannot cope with the position of vulnerability being loved puts me in, because his parents abandoned him, put him on the street, and love really hurt him, and he learned to live without it, and he believed it made him intolerably vulnerable. So we might think, you know, our conscious mind is running the show, but the subconscious is running the show. And once the subconscious picks up these beliefs, love hurts you, having money, you'll never know who your friends are, then it will start to run you, and you have to go back to the subconscious and make sure that you're giving it the right information. So very simple. If you say things like, oh God, I hate going to the gym. It's so boring. I hate the plank. I hate push-ups. And you're going to not go, but you have to say, I love it. Even if you don't, I love doing the plank. My body loves doing crunches. My arms love doing weights. And if you tell yourself that every day, the mind is going to start to make that real, even if it isn't true. So we have to remember our mind is making our thoughts real, and we have to make our thoughts different. You know, I started a cold water swim. And, you know, when you first get in the cold water, you go, and you have to go, oh, I love it. I mean, I didn't love it at all. I absolutely hate it. I love getting in the ice cold water. And of course, after a while, you do start to love it. The thing you hated, you start to like it. So I think, actually, I really do like it. And then it becomes easier and easier. But you have to make your mind your ally, your cheerleader, and your better. And by giving it some guidance, because the subconscious mind is just the feeling mind. It doesn't really think, it feels. And in a battle between emotion and logic, logic is never going to win. The feeling is always going to win. You know, if you say to an alcoholic, do you know you're ruining your life with alcohol? Why don't you have a lovely cup of tea? They look at you like you're completely insane, because they know that logically. But the feeling mind says, I got to drink. I have to drink to relax, to cope, to get through life. And so you can't say to an addict, now come on, have a cup of tea. You can't say to someone who's compulsive eater, why don't you have some berries or a bit of salad? Because the feeling mind doesn't feel it.
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.